Hello everybody, great to see you all again. Now, last week's story we heard that Jesus healed a man who couldn't walk. In today's story, Jesus does something just as amazing. Are you ready to open the book and listen to the story of the storm on the lake? Well, before we do, you know what comes next. Let's do the rap. Are you ready? Repeat. Here we go. Let's open the book. Let's take a look. Let's listen and see how good God can be. Oh, let's take a look. Let's open the book. Let's open the book. Let's take a look. Let's listen and see how good God can be. Oh, let's take a look. Let's open the book. That sounded really good. Better than last time. Anyway, let's just think. The storm on the lake. Listen well. The story goes like this. It was a perfect day. The sky was blue and the lake too. A gentle breeze whipped the wave tips white and foamy. Jesus sat at the side of the lake and he talked to people about God. God is your Father, he said. He dresses the flowers in beautiful colours. He makes sure the birds have enough to eat. But you are his sons and his daughters. Don't you think he can clothe and feed you too? So trust him. Stop worrying your lives away. When Jesus finished teaching, he was tired. So he called to his closest friends, and together they piled into a boat and set off across the lake for home. Jesus, yawned several times. He stretched, like this. And then he laid his head down and went to the rhythm of the waves and rocking of the boat. He fell fast asleep. It was the perfect end to the perfect day. And then, suddenly, the day was not so perfect. The sky turned black, the lake too, and the wild wind stirred the waves up, tall and stormy. The boat rocked to the right, the boat rocked to the left, the boat rocked up and then down. The boat rocked so hard, in fact, that Jesus' friends were sure they would all drown. Now let me show you a photo, a picture of the boat. Can you imagine being on that boat? Do you see the black skies, the black seas here, and the boat being pushed up and down and sideways and sideways? It looked very, very frightening indeed. In fact, it was so frightening they all were scared. But Jesus slept all through it, except for the odd snuffle and snore. Jesus, his friends called at last, Jesus, Jesus, wake up, we're all going to drown. So Jesus woke up with all this shouting going on. He then sat up and then rubbed his eyes and then stood up. It was all anybody else could do to stay on their feet. They were rocking backwards and forwards. But Jesus stood up. And then, very calmly, he said to the wind, "Quiet, now." And as he said to the waves, "Settle down." They did. The waves settled down. And I've got another photo here, a picture of Jesus. And do you see how still the water is? and see him, Jesus on the front, talking, settle down to the waves. And then it all became peaceful. Then Jesus turned to his friends and said, "You didn't need to be frightened. You didn't need to worry. All you had to do was trust me. See, everything is calm." And so it was. The sky was blue, the lake was too, and the little waves splashed happily at the side of the boat. It was a perfect day again. A great story. A very frightening story for some of Jesus' friends. And I just think, when I read that story through, before I read it to you, I was also thinking about times I'd been worried. And I guess that Jesus' friends were very frightened, and they were worried by the storm. I could see by the photo that they looked very frightened. And around them the storm was raging, and they were in the boat. But then, with that, Jesus kept them safe. Now, I wonder if we just take time just to sit there and think for a moment. Let me ask you a question. Do you ever really worry about things? Let's just close our eyes just for a moment and think about things that make us, worried. Close your eyes, think of anything that makes you worried. Are you thinking? There's maybe lots of things. Now, if you can think of something that's made you worry, let's just take another moment and think and see if you can remember, how did you stop worrying about those things that possibly made you frightened and worried? How did you stop thinking about them? Well, there's lots of things to be worried about there, but the story is there. Follow Jesus, trust in him, and he will look after you. What I'd like to do to end my time with you now is just to say a prayer to finish. And I hope you've thought of things that made you frightened and also thought of things that help you through that. And when I finish the prayer, if you want to make it your own, please say Amen after me. Close your eyes. Dear God, when we are worried or afraid, and there's no one to turn to talk to, help us remember that you are here with us and that we are never alone. Amen. Well, thank you very much for listening to me, and I hope to see you really soon. You take care now. Bye-bye.